today with Doris Birch. How you doing, Doris?
I am fabulous. How are you?
I am doing very good. Doing very good. It's a beautiful morning.
It is.
Yes. I hope they stay this way.
I know. It's nice and sunny.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't we kick this off by just talking a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say thank you for, this honor of, getting to talk to you and to your community of people. And what can I tell you about me? Well, like I said earlier, I am fabulous, and I'm the fabulous Doris Birch. And being so, it's all in a new way of being. It's being fabulous in your purpose and what you're here to do in the world. And so it kind of shifts the whole energy of it all. And so what I do is that I really assist women and women who are entrepreneurs in really honing into who it is they are being, as far as anything they want in their lives, in their personal life and in their business life and in their whole entire things that they desire, and really tapping into that from a deeper core level, and not so much from that energy. If anybody has ever come from the corporate world and how the corporate world does business, that same energy doesn't apply when a woman decides to become an entrepreneur and do things on her own terms. And so it's a lot of really reclaiming really who you are, that woman you probably were 20, 30 years ago, that got lost in the shuffle of life, and is really identifying who she is, who she wants to be, and bringing all that into her business, and with the twist of also developing her wealth consciousness so that she can have a business that is extremely prosperous.
Nice. So, I mean, you said you only work with women, but how do I get started? No, it's just funny. It's funny because, when you talk about the energy, right? And shifting the energy in how people focus and stuff. And when you mention the word corporate, you should have saw your face. I love it. I don't like to talk about me in these interviews too much, so we won't. But I can just say that I feel you. So what made you get into a business like this?
I surely didn't plan on it. That's for sure. What I knew was that I had a call on my life to do something more. And I felt that in my whole corporate career. It just didn't feel like it was enough. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what else is there? Because this was the thing. That was the only road that was planned for me. I mean, that was planned for me from the moment I was born. And so I just kind of evolved in it and went with the plan. And that's what I was told was the way to be and have the success that I wanted. And funny thing for me was that it never felt right from the beginning. From my very first day and my first corporate job out of college, I was like, something's wrong. And I was like, what is going on? And it kept aching year after year after year. And so but you get caught up in the grind, you get caught up in it, you develop a life around it, and you get caught up in the false security. And so it really was deciding that this isn't it, and I've got to figure out what to do. And I still didn't know what to do. But what happened was, and I'm actually probably one of the fortunate ones in this way, is that I'll be very honest. At the time that I was really unhappy in the corporate thing, I wasn't brave enough to just quit. Mm-hmm. And that surprised me because I would quit in my younger days much quicker than I did then, but I didn't. So I had to pray for a way to get out. And the way came that we got a transfer. My husband's job relocated us. So it actually came through him that I got to escape.
No, but it's God's timing, right? And
it was God's timing, and I was ready to really step into what that was going to look like, and it didn't look like how I thought it was going to look like. So I actually entered into the entrepreneurial world through a direct sale company, and it was through that journey that I started to relearn who I was and how I had compromised my life and really had to get honest with what is it that I want and how does that look. And it doesn't look the way my mom and dad said it looked. It looks like the way I'm going to say it's going to look. And from that point on, it really came clear. And then it also came clear that I was really supposed to work with women because I really was healing myself. And so in healing myself, I was going to heal other women. And so it came out from the direct sell company that I then created my own transformational coaching company. And it has just taken off from there. My whole thing when I started the company, when I didn't know how to do anything that I'm doing today, was that I said I wanted a global company that could work with women all over the world. And I wanted to create massive amount of wealth. That was what my dream was when I started. This business was the ideal in 2009, and we launched in 2010. And it's been a journey of ups and downs and learning on the way, but I've stayed in the game, and that's a ticket to stay in the game.
Right. No doubt about it. And, you know, it sounds like it caught you on fire.
It caught me on fire, yeah.
It's amazing when you figure out, when you finally give yourself a chance to figure out what you're supposed to do. Because, I mean, I'm sure you're not the only person that has been in the corporate rat race. And, you know, once you progress and, you know, you've got a family and you've got all these responsibilities, you know, you can't just tell them to stick it, but you want to. And, you know, and to the point we made earlier, I mean, it's God's timing. He's going to put you where you need to be. And it sounds like you're exactly where you need to be. And you're so fired up, you want to share that with everybody else, right? I mean,
yeah.
And it's pretty cool. And that's just pretty cool to be aligned with what you're supposed to be doing. So, I mean, I appreciate you sharing that. You know, so when you talk about what you do, and how you transform lives, and I'm sure it's, you know, it's working. You know, what gets you most excited about, you know, the experiences that you have with the people that you work with?
Oh, what gets me most excited, what wakes me up every morning is knowing that I am here to be of service and to help set free another woman from the smallness and the diminishedness that she will create. See, the one thing, I don't know about men, but I know about women, we will create a story in a hot minute, and it will sound so legitimate, and and everybody buys into it. And once I decided not to buy into my own story of why I can't do something, or there's nothing available for me, or, you know, I don't have any money this month, you know, what do I do? It's just a story, and we can change it. That's the power of being an entrepreneur. And I think a lot of us get into this entrepreneur grind, and we don't really understand that we have so much power to change our lives, and not just our lives, somebody else. But this is what I remember thinking one time, was that I heard somebody say, oh, I just want to change the world. But we can't change the world. We got to change ourselves first. And then as we change ourselves, then we have a ripple effect. And then that's the way the world changes. But if we're not willing to change ourselves and looking like, oh, how can I fix the world? Fix you, you know, fix you first. So that's what gets me excited about helping women fix themselves so that they can be a ripple effect, you know, within themselves, within their family, within their community, and within their clients. That changes the planet. That changes everything.
So agree. And it's like, it's almost like a shift in perspective, more or less, right? Because, you know, you can, when you get people together, things can move. But man, just by looking at it through a different lens, you might see the world a lot differently, and, you know, because you're being a lot differently, right?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's so cool. And I'm right there with you as far as the be. You know, so if you were to describe what that really means, so people have a lot of tasks to do every day. You know, I'm gonna create wealth, right? And I know that I need to do this, and this, right, to be able to get there. But it's not that simple. I mean, if it were that simple, you can go out and buy a book that says, you know, 101 steps to becoming wealthy tomorrow, and everybody would be able to do it, right?
Right.
So, you know, when you talk about shifting to becoming who you are so you can attract, you know, great things in your life, what I guess, walk me through how you would get someone started with that.
Well, the first thing that I discovered, and I discovered with myself, is that I'm not a big person on the steps that people put in books and these systems. And not that they don't work. They work for those people, but you have to really come down to why did they work, or why does anything work for anybody? And it really is deciding who you want to be and making a decision. So the first thing that I have found, when you make a decision to be who it is you want to be, and then from that decision, you will then be inspired to take action. I mean, even the hard action, and really, going through everything that's uncomfortable and getting on the other side of fear. But nobody wants to make the real decision. Nobody wants to, bypass fear. And it's this proverbial thing I hear from a lot of people, I don't know if you hear, is that, oh, I don't want to fail. And I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? We wouldn't have the world we live in if people didn't fail, from the beginning. I mean, the Wright brothers, had they not been who they were, we wouldn't be able to fly. And, it's the perception. You hear people back in the day were like, oh, they only were up in the air when they were practicing, 14 seconds. I heard a story. And so they were only in the air 14 seconds, like that was a bad thing. But they probably said to themselves, oh my gosh, we were in the air for 14 seconds. It was just a change of perspective. And so it really is making the decision that you're going to be who it is you want to be, and then take the action in fear, and understanding the fear doesn't go away. You just have to walk through it, get to the next level. And when I can get myself to go through those steps and understand that's how the process works, then I'm able to really share it, because I really know that's it. It's deciding. And from that place, I mean, the windows of heaven will open up, and they will assist you in everything you do. Because, people get so confused, because God is using us to be vessels. And when we say yes to being that, he will assist us in everything we're doing. Because he didn't bring us here to just be like, okay, here you are. Do it yourself. Don't ask me for any help. It's like, ask for help. Please ask him for help. I want to add that. Let's ask God for help.
Yeah. It would be amazing if people actually knew that was there, and
yes.
It's amazing. And, hopefully that's part of the journey and the part of the process too. But, I find so many times that, I'll hear a lot of people say, well, I'm a leader of this, and I want to lead this and that. And, and they define themselves as that, but you don't see them taking the actions that support it. Right. And so, and that's all because of all those baked up, beliefs about, well, if I fail, I might look silly in front of my family or in front of my peers or whatever. So they just stay where they're at. And so people like you, everybody needs a Doris in their life. I firmly believe that, because sometimes you just need a little help, a little assistance. And
absolutely,
and, guys and women, if everybody were focused on what they were supposed to do, you talk about changing the world, it would be unbelievable.
It would totally be unbelievable. And I remember hearing, I heard this just a couple weeks ago, and it shifted me, because we've all heard it. We've all heard to think big and that the sky's the limit. But sometimes maybe it's just a time for a message, but I read Ivanka Trump wrote that her dad, Donald Trump, said, if you're going to think big and shoot for the stars. And I thought, wow. Think about how she grew up with this man who put those kind of thoughts in her head, that she's the woman she is today and doing the things she is doing. And I'm thought, that's available for all of us. And so since we do have an ability to think, why don't we think big? Why don't we shoot for the stars? Why don't we just play in that level of beingness? It would change our whole lives.
Right. Exactly. No, I agree 100%. We could talk about this for 3 days.
I know.
I don't know if anybody would listen to us, but but we would have a good time.
We would have a good time. We would give a whole lot of insight.
All right. So, I'm sure that, working with so many people, you have to do a lot to kind of stay fresh and stay sharp, and just keep yourself focused so that other people can kind of feed off of that. What are some of the things that you do to kind of keep yourself moving forward?
Well, one of the things that I do is I read a lot. And when I say read a lot, I'm not talking about junk stuff. I read a lot of personal development, mind expanding books, just to remind myself of what is really available. Also, I remember the quote that I learned years ago from the late Jim Rohn, is that you're the average of the 5 people you hang around. So I am very conscious of that 5 people rule in everything, to a real big fault. So I do pay attention to where I go. So I'm all about learning and expanding. And I think if we're entrepreneurs, we should always be investing in ourselves and being in the company of people that are playing it at a bigger level than we are, so we can say, that's available for me. Great, they're doing it, I can do it. So I do travel to different people's events and seminars and stuff in person, so I can grow and expand and see what other people are doing who think bigger than me. So I'm always trying to be in a place of who thinks bigger than me, who is showing up in the world in a bigger way, who is doing it in a way that I feel is in alignment to who they're meant to be and in alignment to me too. So I, and really walk in it, not just like you were mentioning earlier, not just trying to say that's what you are, they're really in the game. So that's what I really do. And that helps me be the person I need to be to do this work and keep, on days, there are days that are, you're like, oh, really? And like, you got to be like, okay, this is how it looks. Get it together, Doris. Let's go do it. There's somebody's life to change. And so that really is. So reading books, being around people that inspire me to play a bigger game, who are in alignment with their truth, and just staying very focused and knowing that this is not about me. This is not about me, and I'm here to be used.
That's excellent. Great advice. So, along those lines, if you rewind back to 2010, when you decided to kind of go for it here, and you were able to compile like the last 5 years of learnings, you bundle them up and say, here you go, Doris, take this and start fresh and strong, and you don't have to worry about making mistakes you've already made. What would be the biggest thing that you would share with yourself and maybe somebody else that's in those shoes right now?
Oh my God. You know what? This is the truth, is that whatever big ideal that you have, start with that ideal. It is the best lesson. If I had known, I had bigger ideals even when I started, but I was so afraid. And so I started so small, and I just, just kind of like put my toe in the water. And I'm like, if you want to just jump into the water, jump into the ocean, because it's a better place to start at. Because you can bypass all the doubts and, do people want what I have and all that? Yes, they do. If it came to you, they want it. It's available in this world we live in. Of 7 billion people in the world, there's somebody for us all to serve. So just jump in the ocean. Don't stick your toe in the water, even in the kiddie pool, go in the ocean, because I'm telling you, it's a better place to start. And I know that. I mean, you say, oh, Doris, how can you say that 5 years later? Because it's true. It really is true. I could have started out much bigger then because I had the desire to start bigger, but I was just afraid. And so just don't let the fears keep you from being who you're really meant to be, because you get the impact, the people you're meant to serve, much faster.
Excellent advice. Excellent. I love how you use the word serve. You use the word serve so many times, and that's real. To me, that's what it's really about. And if people could understand, and I truly believe that you're going to be as successful in life as the number of people that you help, right?
Yes.
So if you're out there, you want to have this abundant lifestyle, great. Then abundantly get out there and serve, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's going to come. It'll be there. It'll be there in bundles, but you got to be willing to give it up. And
yeah,
I wish people, and that's the whole point of what I do. I mean, if you look at our network and you see the things that I promote and the things that I post and stuff, you don't see me promoting what I do at all, because it's not about me. It is totally not about me. And so it's just really cool to be able to, show people that and hear, the servant leaders that are out there doing their thing, So anyway, excellent. I love it. So, we're both a part of the Cooperatizing Network. That's why we're here. That's how we met.
Yeah.
If you had an opportunity to kind of reach out and speak to the group, and they were available for, to help you, or maybe vice versa, your platform, what would you have to say?
It comes back to really understanding what that really does mean to serve. And so it's funny that was, you noticed that. I mean, that's true. It's like every morning, I also ask, who can I serve? Who am I here to be to serve? And so that's what I'm here to do. So with that being said, I'm here to serve any way that I can serve that is a blessing to somebody else to be who they're here to be in the world. I truly, I'm telling you, would not have been on this path had it not been a higher calling for me to be on this path, because I know what I was feeling inside that was just calling me forth. And it was calling me forth to show up this way. And so if you just can serve and not worry about the money, not worry about the clients, not worry about it all, I can tell you it will be a major shift in everything. Yes, I have had times where I was more concerned about the money, even in my whole thing saying I'm serving. But I was like, I still need money. And when I focused on the money, I kid you not, things would not move. I couldn't make it move. Then I had to remember, and then I had to read and, understand why I'm here and ask, God, what is it I'm here to do? How do I shift this? I mean, so it all goes back to be of service, Doris, be of service. How can you serve another person? And this thing that we do, all of our businesses, in some way, it serves. And so we understand if we're using our business as our ministry to serve, then it has to pay us back. It has to pay us back. And that's my platform message, really.
Yeah, that's excellent. Sorry I brought that out of you, but I had
to. Try to hold back. I'm so glad you're who. I mean, the thing that I will say, Jeff, I didn't know you were a man of God like that. So I'm like, you don't know where you're going with people. And right. I love this whole process even more so because of who you are in the world.
I appreciate that. And that's what it's about. It's truly about. And I won't spend any time on me, but we'll talk a little bit after this. But I really appreciate you putting that out there and sharing that, because it truly is what it's all about. And, so if more and more people would understand that and just, have the faith to go for it and do what you're feeling it for a reason, right? And
right.
So, just go with it and trust it and watch around you, because it's there. Look around. You got help everywhere. You just don't see it, and it's amazing what'll happen in your life. And I look forward to watching it. I mean, and people like Doris are out there to help guide you along the way as well. And hopefully we'll be seeing you, sitting at the top somewhere. So anyway, so I appreciate you. Oh, before I wrap this up. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you because they need help, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Okay, well, you can come into my world at the Fab Factor Academy. So it's FABFACTOR Academy.com, the Fab Factor Academy. Fab Factor Academy. It is one of the best ways to come into my world. You can also like me on Facebook. I'm at Doris Birch Fan. I think that's my Facebook page. So I would love for you to connect with me, or, send me a private message in Facebook and say, hey,
and everybody should. I'll be posting, a wrap-up message, so make sure you like her page. But anyway, I really appreciate you taking the time today. I'm glad our audio and visual things worked out this time, and we were able to talk. This has been great.
Yeah, it's been a blast. Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. And so look for Doris online, and I'll see everybody else there as well. Thanks a lot.